adulthood, and and then and then when you say you look good.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that one has been going around for a few months actually.
Mm.
Baba remained in Satara for one more week before he was shifted to Pune, where better medical facilities were available. If Baba hadn't had to have a cast, x-rays and stitches, Goher lamented, we would never have taken him to the hospital in Satara. As far as possible, no outside doctor was called. Baba could not pass urine, so he had to be catheterized. Yikes. I prepared everything, boiled everything, kept it ready for Don to do the catheterization. Don did it, and the civil surgeon looked in a little later. So that's Donkin, is Don. Most
Yeah.
most of the time I was with Baba. So this is Goher talking still. I myself would go and tell Mehera about Baba's condition, knowing she was anxiously waiting to know what was going on. Mehera fed Baba with a feeding cup, as Baba couldn't sit up in bed. He could only have a liquid diet, some soup, Horlicks, or doll water. The men had to be in attendance. Mehera would be with Baba for some time, and then he would tell her to go. In Baba's first automobile accident in the West, women had been involved, and Baba sustained injuries on his left side. In the second accident in India, men were in the car with him, and the injuries were on his right side. And there's a sidebar there. Traditionally, the left side of the body, where the heart is, represents the feminine and intuitive, while the right side represents the masculine and analytical. The second accident resulted in cuts to Baba's tongue in 2 or 3 places. I think the first accident did too, Meher noted, even though Baba wasn't wearing his dentures at the time. Fortunately, there were no internal injuries, but he did have neck problems. I remember for a few days after the accident, slowly putting soft food or fruit juice into Baba's mouth with a spoon, a little behind the tongue. I put the spoon right at the back of his tongue. Baba looked just like a child. When he opened his mouth, I could see the cuts. Baba had to swallow with such difficulty. We didn't know at the time that it was such a serious accident. We thought his leg would get all right, as it had in the first accident. One thing Mehera learned later especially troubled her. Baba had knowingly made his injuries worse. At the time of the accident, Baba had propped his feet on the dashboard. The impact of the crash thus forcefully pushed back his leg, breaking the cup of his hip joint. This would not have happened, Mehera stated, if Baba's legs had been down in their usual position. Possibly not, but also possible. That's I understand that's a typical injury, but could be due to seat belts too. Baba was taken to Pune by ambulance on Monday, 10 December, and spent the night at a private clinic. Goher accompanied him. Mera, Mani, and Meru came the same day and stayed at Bindra House with the Jessawalas. I should read the sidebar. Mani saying this, it was incredible to visualize such a bad accident at such a place. It is as if Baba meant us to clearly understand it was all his work and reasons, for there seemed to be no outward excuse whatever for the accident. Baba was taken to Pune by ambulance on Monday, 10 December, and spent the night at a private clinic. Goher accompanied him. Mera, Mani, and Meru came the same day and stayed at Bindra House with the Jessawalas. Naja and Rano arrived the following day. On the way, the driver pointed out the spot where the accident had taken place. The women told him to slow down so they could have a proper look at it, but they saw nothing to indicate why the accident should have happened there. At the clinic, more x-rays were taken and Baba's leg put into traction. In the evening, Mera and the others came to see him. Goher went back to Bindra House with them, and Don kept watch near Baba. The following day, Baba and the women moved to a private bungalow named Silver Oaks, which Mayorji and Mayor Juan Jessawala had arranged. Uh, anybody in particular want to read? First person to unmute and
I would like to read if it's okay.
awesome. So from Baba and the women.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
Baba and the
welcome.
women had lived in Satara for 2.5 years. As mentioned, they were comfortable there, and Baba had no plans to leave. We had really begun to love Satara, Mani said. It had become the place we felt most at home in, the place Baba gave us hopes for a more lengthy stay. How do you like Satara? He would ask. Very nice, we would reply. So perfect for our style of life. Everything was shattered with the accident, Mani continued. Suddenly we were shot out of Satara like a rocket. We left without taking anything with us. All our things were later packed and sent to us. It was as if our lives had received an explosion, like a bolt from the blue, which catapulted us out with just our toothbrushes. We were exploded out of our beautiful stay in Satara. It was so sudden and so total that we never went back. Before the accident, Baba had sent Don and Goher to visit a few Indian Christian missionaries who were doing social work in the area. The missionaries liked the two doctors but could not understand why they were staying with Mera Baba. They told Don they were praying for him. Praying for him. Mani once confronted a missionary casually remarking, "You know, we love Jesus Christ more than you." The woman was startled and Mani explained, "You say Christ was the Son of God, while we believe he was God himself. Christ was just and compassionate, correct? Well, would he come only once to his children that he loves?" Much later, a Christian woman approached Mani for a donation and asked, you keep moving it, so I keep losing the place. Much later, a Christian woman approached Mani for a donation and asked her, "What has Meher Baba done for the people?" Mani replied, "It's not what Meher Baba has done, but what he is that matters." "The missionaries in Satara were doing wonderful work," Mani remarked, "but they couldn't understand about Baba. They could somehow feel something reflected in the people around Baba, like Dr. Donkin and Dr. Goher, who were the ones mostly involved with them, but they couldn't stand the idea of Baba as Christ. We tried to help them understand, but then Baba had the accident. Everyone knew that Meher Baba was in an accident. The man who calls himself God," the missionary said in scorn. "He couldn't even save himself?" Yet, as we were leaving for Pune, there they were, standing on the road with such reverence when they knew Baba's ambulance would leave. The ones who were most strongly opposed to the idea of Baba as Christ were standing lined up with so much reverence on their face, I actually wept.
Beautiful, beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, very beautiful, very beautiful. Well, what they're saying is accident. Christ got himself, crucified. So he was God and he got himself crucified. Now, Baba, I thought, when your body is broken, they come. Even in that seemingly broken condition, their hearts had received a momentary revelation. The way they stood, the way they bowed. They had been waiting for over an hour to remove their hats as we passed.
So they said,
Whoop.
I just want to say something that I thought was important. Can you go back to that, just that little part that, because it's not
Yeah.
in the book.
Sorry, I touched the wrong key and it's sped ahead. But here
Okay.
we're back here. I think
Yeah.
this
Anyways,
bottom paragraph.
at first they said he couldn't even save himself, but that's actually, I'm sure they knew the New Testament pretty well. That's actually in the New Testament.
What's in the New Testament?
That some of the Pharisees said that about Jesus when Jesus was on the cross. If you're
Oh,
the Son of God, you should be able to save yourself. That's
yeah, I
exactly
remember.
what they said.
Well, that is sort of, sensible or something. I mean, that's the first thing one would think if one was um, an ordinary person.
Yeah, right. You think
Yeah,
they
but
wouldn't have said it because it's a quote out of the New Testament. What they said
yeah,
about
right,
Jesus.
right, right, right. Yeah. Yeah, well, people use their information, in the way they want to, not in the way it is. No, no, don't
Exactly.
go up. Don't go up. We didn't read that
Oh,
paragraph.
we didn't? Oh, sorry.
No.
There you go.
Yeah, I didn't. We didn't finish it.
Go
Now,
ahead. Who's reading?
I am.
Mikhail, you're still reading. Yes, go ahead.
Now, Baba, I thought, when your body is broken, they come. Even in that seemingly broken condition, their hearts had received a momentary revelation. Oh, yeah, I did think. No, the way they stood, the way they bowed, they had been waiting for over an hour to remove their hats as we passed. They were standing with such reverence, I couldn't help crying as we drove past them. I will never forget it. Yeah, I did read that. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Now, who was that talking? Mani or oh
Yeah,
well,
money. Yeah, it's money.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it is money. Money talking. It's the
Yeah.
To me, that was the highlight of our stay in Satara. We were always trying to protect Baba and his image from others misunderstanding him. After the accident, we gave up. What can you tell those missionaries? With a heavy heart, we just let go. And then we saw this. Baba revealed himself to them in a fabulous way. The incident, which we thought was humiliating, embarrassing. Meher Baba in an accident? Who is this Baba? This God? Look at him. He allows himself to get broken like that. Through that, we have witnessed the light that Baba is, God. We have seen it shine through so strongly. We worried for nothing to see the homage of those missionaries, their acknowledgement. They were acknowledging Baba because he was revealed, like when his body was revealed through a tear in his sadra. When his body was broken, he shone out more as God. Again and again, we've seen it. All the way to Pune, the faces of those missionaries were before me. Baba's convalescence in Pune lasted for 2 months. Silver Oaks was located in Salisbury Park, Mehra related, not far from Meherji's home. Though it was called Silver Oaks, there weren't an oak inside. It was a nice place. Baba's room had morning sunshine, but it was not a happy time for me. Baba had to be in his room all the time, cooped up, suffering. We two were always in Silver Oaks during the day, massaging Baba's legs, talking to him, serving food. Dawn came and went. Dawn brought an infrared light, which we administered to Baba. Goher held the light on Baba's hip, while I massaged his feet and Mani massaged his back. At nights, we went and saw Baba in his room. Baba told us a prayer to say. After his leg was mending, Baba was smiling. He never showed that he was in pain. Said Goher, Baba had a way of telling us, making us feel that everything was all right. To Mara and us, he said that his leg would be all right soon and he would be able to walk about. So we used to remember quite cheerfully. So we used to remain quite cheerfully with him. Nagu, a doctor, had come to help and was staying with us. She was also jovial, and Baba had fun with her and enjoyed her company. Baba was in one room at Silver Oaks, Goer continued, and I had an adjoining room. Jal was with Baba during the night. If need be, I was called. All of us, women, attended to him. Once or twice, Baba called us. Baba was not sleeping. Maybe he wanted something to drink or a little cold water. We would all go. Jal went out in the meantime. Perhaps he had to go out to piddle or he felt tired. He would knock and call me, and I would call Mera and Mani. They quickly dressed and came, along with Meru. I slept in my clothes. We sat with Baba, massaged his legs. I had to get up so many times. Meru commented when Baba had his second accident in 56. Though Mera was deeply affected, she tried to be as courageous and helpful as possible. It was to her that Baba turned for his every personal need, a drink of water or a cup of tea. And she, who had never taken care of a sick person, would go gently attend on Baba, feed him and wash his face, pour the water for him, sponge him, and try to fulfill his personal needs. Vera described their stay in a letter to Irene. Our house in Pune is quite close to Meraji's, and his car has been at our service all the time. Naja stays at Game Mice to help with the cooking, as Baba's food and our main meal comes from there. We had acquired quite a bit of things at Satara from people gone, thinking we were settled there for a number of years. Ranu and Naja will have a time packing up there. Immediately after the accident, although Baba's braid had become entangled, he would not allow Mera to comb his hair. 2 weeks passed before he agreed. They popped up cushions behind him, and Baba reclined against them. Mera tried to do his hair, but there were just too many knots. Before the accident, Mera would braid Baba's naturally curly hair. Where's that? Where? So, before the accident, Mehera would braid Baba's naturally curled hair halfway and leave the end open. They used to curl up without a knot, she said. She explained. I didn't braid it at the tip. I left a little and then tied it off with a bow, using a tiny baby ribbon. Baba's hair was so fine and soft, very delicate. The morning of the accident, Mehera had done Baba's hair in just this way. Now the open end had knotted, and the hair inside the plait had become matted. After opening the ribbon, the entire braid had to be separated. Mehera tried, but she could not untangle the hair where it was loose at the end. After some time, Baba asked impatiently, "Haven't you finished?" "No, there's too many knots," Mehera said. You will feel you will feel tired sitting up, as I am taking so long. Could I cut it a little bit at the end, as the hair is very knotted, and you are getting tired? By the time I knot it, brush and comb it, it will take a long time." Baba agreed. So Mehera tied the braid tight with two silk ribbons at the end and a little further up. Then, very carefully, she cut off the tip of his braid between the two ribbons. This was the first time that Mehera had ever cut Baba's hair. After that, Baba's hair grew to his shoulders. A year or two later, Mehera asked Baba again whether she could cut his hair so that it did not go beyond his shoulders. Baba said yes. 2 or 3 other times after this, Mehera, with Baba's permission, trimmed his hair. Despite the accident, Baba's ongoing seclusion continued. On 15th December, he stated, "The last 75 days of my seclusion, beginning from the day of the accident, I have to work through physical suffering." He added, "It is as if the mental suffering of the universe wants to crush me, but the infinite bliss I experience and the love I have for all sustains me, and the love of all my lovers supports me in the burden I carry." He dictated this message to all who loved him.
Whoops. Darn. Got away from me. There we go.
Okay, I'll read the message and then someone else will read. "In this apparent helplessness, I declare again that everything except God is illusion, and that the only way to be united with this self of all selves is love, sacrifice, and unreserved and honest resignation to Beloved's will. I am the self of all. I am the ultimate goal. So love me with all your honesty and being." Thank you. So
Oh,
someone
you're
else?
welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Who wants to read next?
I can read. So should I start?
Yeah, from the following day.
The following day at 4 p.m., something unusual happened that none of the women even ever forgot. Baba was lying in his bed and called the women around him. Very seriously, he said, "No one must shed tears." Baba's fingers began moving. Then tears welled up in his own eyes and rolled down his cheeks. Mehera felt so sad that she could not help herself. Her eyes too filled with tears. Baba looked at her and said, "What did I tell you? No tears." "No, Baba, no," she said, as she wiped her cheeks and tried to control herself. What did this poignant incident signify? Baba knew that he would never walk again. Mehera surmised. She began to cry. as she narrated the story, concluding, Baba, who loved to walk and talk, even walking he gave up the last so many years. We tried our best, but nothing was of any avail because in no way could we help Baba to heal his leg to make it all right. What kind of life was that? He was suffering all the time. He went through it all for us. The second accident was very serious, she continued. We had just gotten over the first accident and thought that now that it had happened, it won't happen again. We were happy that Baba had gotten over the first accident. It's finished. The thought that it would happen again never came. It was over. And the side note, Baba explained it as follows. The tears are not for the suffering of my body, but for the suffering of the world to come. Okay, and continuing, it won't happen. We were happy that Baba had gotten over the first accident. It's finished. The thought that it would happen again never came. It was over. Baba was all right. He could walk beautifully. The injury hadn't been in the joint, so it had mended very quickly. What did we know? That there was going to be a second time also. It was awful. We had no idea it was going to happen again, and that too in so short a time. Baba was not young either. He was 63 years old. Mehra reiterated that she had said about the first accident. Mehra reiterated what she had said about the first accident. Many have accidents, but this is different. Baba could not say a word. When your health is not good, when you are in pain, you say something. You get upset, talk, and then you feel better. You feel free. But here, all the time, Baba used to bear the pain, and he never said a word. He never uttered a sound, not even a groan. Though he was in severe pain, he was so different from any other person. On top of that, now he could not walk. The second accident was so great and very sad. At the time, I said, one accident is enough, why two? Mani said, Baba does his work through suffering. Mehera and the other Mandali's anguish over their beloved suffering can be better understood if one tries to picture how Baba looked at this time. His majestic face was cut in several places, on the eyelid and chin, requiring stitches. His mouth and tongue were swollen. He looked bruised and battered. His right shoulder was black and blue. For days after the accident, he experienced periodic spasms of retching pain in his hip and leg. Seeing him in this pitiable condition, while on silence, was torture for those who loved him with all their hearts. One evening, when the pain was especially bad, Baba remarked to the woman, the accident has been a blessing for the universe and a curse for Baba. Baba got some relief, however, when Dawn brought a new doctor to Silver Oaks on 19 December. His name was Dr. S.C. Chatterjee, a Bengali from the Military Orthopedic Hospital. Chatterjee was a fine person, Mehra related, and Baba liked him. Baba's cast was removed and his leg put in traction. More x rays were taken and a wheelchair was brought. At the end of January, Dr. Chatterjee suggested that Baba be taken out for a drive. It was no good being cooped up like that for so long, Mehera commented. Chatterjee was a Hindu, but his wife was Italian. Once, 2 or 3 years later, in 1958 or 59, he came to Guru Prasad to see Baba. The wife's brother had been in an aeroplane crash. She was depressed. So Chatterjee brought her to Guru Prasad. Baba explained about that to her. She visited with us also. In a letter to Phyllis Frederick, at this time, Mehera wrote, Beloved can now sit in bed with our help, almost in an erect position, and he looks ever so sweet as he leans against a backrest, looking comfortable and at ease. Beloved Baba smiles as always and looks a bit of his old dear self again, and he does his leg exercises regularly. Of course, you can imagine how lying in bed must be difficult for dear Baba, who you know is always so energetic and active. We are doing our best to feed him with good, nourishing food to build up his strength. During Baba's stay in Satara, Kakabaria had been alone at Mirazad, where Booty, the mastiff that Baba had brought back from North India, had had puppies. One day, Baba called Kaka to Pune and told him to bring one of the 6-week-old puppies. When he arrived by car, the puppy was tired from traveling, but Baba wanted to play with him. He was a sweet and fluffy puppy, Mehra recalled. Baba had told Kaka to bring the one from the litter that looked most like Booty. Sarrosh had arranged the mating with Alsatian. Baba tried to play with him and he played a little. But mostly, whenever Baba took the puppy on the bed, he fell asleep. Baba gave it to us to feed. After a little while, the pup was nowhere to be seen. We looked under the sofa and found him nice and cozy. We put him in the garden, but he would not play with the ball. When we returned to Mehrazad, Baba himself named him. Do you like the name Plato? Baba asked. I said yes, but Mani did not look happy with it, as we already had one dog named Peter, who was 3 years old now. Plato sounded too similar. Baba thought a little while, and then he suggested Mastan. Mastan can be mischievous, fun-loving, robust, hearty, or intoxicated. Mastan became a cherished member of the household and lived at Meherazad for the rest of Baba's life. Mastan can mean mischievous, fun-loving, robust in health, hearty, or intoxicated. By February 1957, Baba's leg had healed sufficiently.
So Mustan is. Oh, sorry to interrupt. But it's the root of must then.
Yeah, that's what I saw right now.
How nice, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
God intoxicated.
Oh, nice. Mastan,
Oh,
intoxicated.
yeah, that's a nice nickname for one of us. Who wants to be
100.
Mustan?
Maybe you. Maybe you.
I have so many, but I'm happy to have it or share it. Yeah.
No, I I
Meher,
like
why
to
don't
be
you change your
tidy. I like to
what
be
Deb?
tidy. I like to be tidy and clean, so I don't think I will be a must.
Yes, thank you. While we have a break, thank you all. Jai Baba.
Jai
Thank
Baba,
you.
Jai Baba. Thank you, Mikhail.
You.
Yeah. We must change reader, I think.
Oh, okay. Deb.
Okay. Let's see. Muston.
You start from by February 1957.
Okay. By February 1957, Baba's leg had healed sufficiently to allow him to return to Meherazad. He was driven there on the 12th in Meherji's car with Dawn and Meherji. The women followed in Adi Sr.'s car. Before leaving Pune, one day Baba instructed the women to visit Babajan's tomb and offer a flower jolly sheet in honor there of the perfect master who had unveiled him as the avatar of the age. And then we've got
Oh,
next.
Deb, there's that paragraph on the screen is an entirely new paragraph. Preparations for the
Got it.
journey. Go ahead.
Preparations for the journey had been going on for 3 weeks, as Monty describes in a letter to Don Stevens on 20 January. I looked out at breakfast this morning and nearly choked when I saw Don arriving with a steamroller in tow. We had been making a sort of ramp over the outside steps so that Baba can be wheeled out to the car and drive around for a while daily in preparation for the long trip to Pimplegon on the 12th.
Hmm.
And then the final paragraph, before leaving Pune one day, Baba instructed the women to visit Babajan's tomb and offer a flower jolly sheet there in honor of the perfect master who had unveiled him as the avatar of the age.
Yeah. So 1957, that's Baba at 63. He does look aged. Though men from his time did look aged at when they were in their 60s.
Yeah. And he
63.
looks like his mouth hurts too, doesn't he? One
Yeah.
side of his mouth is drooping. It must have been really horrible having a cut tongue because he couldn't eat. But I don't think that probably didn't bother Baba. But whew.
Well, faces age too and look like they're suffering, even when we're not necessarily. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we should have gotten Rosalie to read before she left.
Oh well.
She just
Are you tired or
no, I haven't
awesome?
read hardly anything. Let's see, 319. Okay. Chapter 124, Summer in Pune. In many ways, Meher Baba's second accident in 1956 proved to be the beginning of the end. The force of the accident had been so great that the femur had smashed into the hip socket, destroying it. Baba's hip socket now rubbed against the bone in the joint. Francis Brabazon remarked that at times the Mandali could actually hear the sound of Baba's hip bones chafing against one another.
Yikes. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
like the rubbing together of two stones.
Yikes.
There were no hip replacements then, although it was suggested later. Baba opted not to have the surgery. His only treatment was painkillers and heat.
I was just wondering that, because that pain is so unbearable. You'd have to do painkillers, I think. Or I don't know. I can't imagine being able to endure that
Yeah.
pain in the hip. It's so central, you know.
Pain now became Meher Baba's constant companion. For the next 12 years, Baba was never really free of pain. Every time he bent, every time he got up from his bed or a chair, every time he moved, the pain was with him, though he kept smiling. After the second accident, Mehra stated, Baba's mood was a bit not quite so happy. He never showed it. He used to smile, though he was in difficulty. He couldn't walk freely, but he always kept cheerful. He was doing it out of his love for each one. The second accident had a deleterious effect on Mehra as well. The pain and suffering Baba went through affected Mehra deeply, Mehru observed. And after the second accident, from then on, we felt that for Baba too, this was a new life, a life of extra binding and constant suffering. It naturally affected all his close ones, especially Mehra. Often when we were both massaging Baba in turns in the morning, trying to help counteract the pain in his hip, Mehra would get restless and feel the heat. Though Baba was lying with his head on the pillow, he immediately sensed her discomfort and asked Mehra to go out into the cool air until she felt all right. It was not just the warmth of the room, but also that his pain and suffering bothered her so much. From the women's perspective, their lives were focused more than ever on Baba's health, on trying to ease his physical suffering. Goher often said, when people asked about incidents from her life with Meher Baba, that she did not recall very many, since all she was aware of was Baba's suffering, which became the prominent feature of the Avatar's last years on Earth. Another theme that predominated in the later years was Baba's continuing and indeed intensifying seclusions and universal work. 3 days after Baba's return to Meherazad, his 1-year seclusion ended on 15 February 1957 with a poor program. Despite being seated in a wheelchair, Baba touched the feet of 700 poor persons and distributed prasad.
But we have a sidebar that says Baba was fasting for 24 hours without water that day and developed a splitting headache.
Jeez. Oof. Baba's 63rd birthday was celebrated on the 25th. Mani played Happy Birthday on the record player and took a photo. Yellow roses filled a vase on the table, and Baba's birthday cake held 7 candles. After the second accident, Mehra garlanded Baba every birthday, not in his bedroom, but in the dining room. Baba kissed her on the cheek, and she returned the kiss. Others then kissed him, also on the cheek. Despite the festive occasion, Mehra felt quite disconsolate that year. Baba couldn't walk, she explained tearfully. Still, he was smiling. To change the subject, the author asked, "Did you ever give Baba a birthday present?" "What to give?" she replied. "Baba has everything." "Do you know what my birthday gift to him was? My birthday kiss." In Satara, Baba had told Mehra to do a bit of gardening, and they brought some bougainvilleas and other plants for the garden when they moved back to Meherazad. Wow, I always loved those bougainvilleas. I didn't realize they just didn't grow there in that area. It came from Satara. We planted fruit trees and enlarged the compound from the hedge Walu had planted, Mehra elaborated. We started growing fruit trees We took cuttings of the plants I liked at Satara and brought them to Meherazad. Many trees came from there. Sheba had also been brought from Satara in an enclosed truck. She was kept in Mandali Hall, which was then a stable with a brick floor. Another groom was hired to look after her. At Meherazad, after 1958, Baba had always slept in a small bedroom on the second floor of the main house. Since returning from Pune, however, Baba was using the bedroom downstairs. He had stayed there once before for a few days, prior to his trip to the West in 1952, when he had had an adverse reaction to a vaccination. This time, because of his injury, he stayed downstairs for several months. Despite his injuries, Baba traveled to Sakuri and Pune in March to give darshan to his lovers. And the sidebar says, the 78 RPM phonograph record featured a male crooner from the Novelty Players and a long orchestral passage between these two verses. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, my darling. Happy birthday to you. From new friends, from old friends and new, may good luck go with you and happiness too. The record was played on Mara's birthday as well. Okay.
There's another sidebar here.
Okay.
Do you see it? Mani, in a letter to Billy Eaton, dated 23 February 1957, beloved doesn't wear the sadra during this time, as it would be cumbersome in bed. And when he sits on the wheelchair, wears the coat buttoned at the back. And what's more, Baba Baby wears a nappy, a big scarf tied like a nappy so that it covers his legs like a pair of short shorts. So let's see, where are we? Shall we stop here or?
And we could. It's a little there's a little pause there. Whatever you like.
Okay, so this is halfway down page 176.
Okay. Yeah. Hmm.
Oh, I should turn off the recording.